If you win the championship, what's the nickname gonna be?
I think it'll have to be the Ship Snakes.
It's gotta be.
It's got a nice ring to it. Let's start with training camp. Coming into training camp, you guys, no one really knew what to expect. But one thing that the Whip Snakes had that other teams probably didn't have was instant chemistry with you guys having played together in college. When you left training camp, did you think like, wow, we have a leg up on every other team?
Yeah, I mean, it was great just going into the season knowing that we had a lot of Maryland guys, and the other guys that we had came from great programs and kind of same culture in their programs that we had at Maryland. So it was an instant fit.
Looking back at that now, as we head into championship weekend, do you think that made a difference?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, like Mike said, a lot of Maryland guys, we knew there was some camaraderie there and some consistency, but at the same time, you know, a lot of guys that we hadn't played with in you know, forever or in a long time. So for us, it was being able to kind of build on that consistency and you know, be able to excel towards the end of the season.
And looking back at the beginning of the season, game 1, overtime game winner by Drew Snyder. Weeks 2 and 3, overtime game winner from Ryan Drenner. And then week 4, you go into Homewood Field, which is basically enemy territory for you guys, and you put up 9 goals in the 4th quarter. Do you think this team strives under pressure?
I mean, we've obviously had some great success under pressure this year, and obviously we would hope not to be in those situations a lot, but we've really proved ourselves to come through in those moments, and we have a lot of clutch players on the team. Obviously, you had some guys that have scored some big goals, and Kyle's made some really big saves during the games, and our defense has come up really clutch. And I mean, a lot of credit goes out to Joe Nardella too. In a couple of games he had struggled, and he won the faceoffs when they mattered and got us the ball, and we were able to put it in the back of the net.
Yeah. And sort of like what you said with that, you guys had a lot of highs in the beginning of the season, started 4-0, and then there were some lows there where I think a lot of people sort of started doubting this team. Did you feel that pressure at all mounting on you guys?
I don't think we felt the pressure. Obviously, there was some frustration in regards to, because we hold ourselves to such a high standard, and starting out the season 4-0, you know, you kind of think you're going to run the table. So we knew that we weren't going to go undefeated. Obviously, we would have liked to, but you know, having a couple losses there in the middle of the season, you know, we'd rather have them then than, you know, towards the end of the season.
And let's talk 2 bombs. You both have found success with 2 bombs. Chaney yourself with finishing the regular season as the league leader with 7. But you guys don't really find a need to like flaunt that accolade, opposed to some other teams.
I mean,
Would you jump on that?
I think, you know, the way we played in college, right, and we talked about a lot of Maryland guys, is, you know, it wasn't the flashiest style, and we didn't always put up a ton of goals. You know, we would win games 13-10 or 13-5, you know, lower scoring games. So we really bought into that culture in college, and I think we've brought that to the Whip Snakes. You know, a lot of us being from Maryland, but also the other guys that aren't have bought into that culture as well. So we don't really care like who's scoring the goals, and I know it's, you know, cheesy to say, but it's true. And you know, when you can buy into that, and you know, whether it's 1 goal or 2 pointers, you know, I think we're all happy.
Heading into this championship game, a lot of guys on your team know what it feels like to win a championship, and there's a handful of you guys that know what it feels like to lose a championship. How do you think both of those emotions are going to help you come Saturday?
I think it's more of just knowing what it feels like to be there before, you know, and it's not good enough just getting to the championship game, but winning the championship game is obviously our goal. So like Mike said, we've been there a couple times. We've had guys that have won them. We've played in a lot of close games this year, so I think being there and just taking in the moment, and you know, being in the moment and making sure we excel and win next weekend is key for us.
Yeah, and I mean, you just can't take it for granted. You never know if you're ever going to get back to a championship game, and you never know when your career is going to end, and something's going to come up in life where you're not able to play anymore, and so you really got to cherish those moments.
Matt Rambo is up for MVP. What makes him so deserving that award, and what is something that would surprise people about Rambo?
You know, the most surprising thing is he's, you know, a very unselfish player. And last week in the Chaos game, he was getting shut off at X, and he just said, hey guys, I'm going to stand behind the goal, and you guys can just play 5-on-5 up top, and they're not going to slide. And so he was content just sitting back there, and he was just as happy as the guy who scored, going and celebrating. And, that's something that, you look at all the points and the numbers and you say, man, this guy's got the ball in a stick a lot and he's scoring a lot of goals. He lets the game come to him, and we're lucky to have him on our team.
I believe we have the best defense in the league, and we have some of the top cover guys, and they have a very tough time covering him in practice. And he's really evolved his game, and he's really turned into more of an assist guy too, instead of a goal scorer, and really dodges with his head up, uses his body really well. And that's a credit for him, putting the work in and making himself a lot better.
So you'll be playing the Redwoods on Saturday. How do you match up with them?
We've played them twice now. One a big one, and which helped us clinch, and lost one early in the season, which was our first loss. So a couple really, key games in our season. That's the beauty of this league right now, is we've seen a lot of the teams, over and over again. So we'll be prepared. Doesn't matter who we play.
Yeah, we really can't look too much at the last time we played them. Obviously, it was a blowout. Can't really look back and think it's going to be that easy. They're a different team now, and they've grown since that game, and we have as well. So we kind of just have to look ahead and play what's in front of us.
First ever PLL championship. What would that mean for this team's legacy?
For us, it's not just being here enjoying it. It's winning it, and to take home the crown. On the first, inaugural season, obviously you're going to go down in history. 20, 30, 40 years from now, I think, people can look back at this team and see what we did, kind of have a lasting legacy.
It's going to be an incredible experience next Saturday, and we're really looking forward for that moment. And to hoist that trophy is going to be a surreal feeling. So it's going to be a great time.